Hi and welcome along to AFTV News Daily. Hope you guys have been having yourself a fantastic day. It has been a beautiful day here in the UK. The sun's been shining and beautiful weather out there today. And we're all dreaming of the day when we get to really go out there and enjoy it. We're here set for another great show tonight, and I've got a great guest on tonight. Glad to welcome along Chris Hudson. How you doing, Chris?
All right, Robbie. All right, mate?
I'm good. How are you?
Okay, I'm missing me football, Rob. I've got to tell you, big time.
I can imagine. How you been coping with all this?
I've been furloughed from work, so what I'm doing is I'm chilling out, letting the wife do everything. But I'll tell you what, on the old Arsenal social media, there's been some fantastic posts, right, good nostalgic stuff going back to the 70s, 60s.
Yeah.
I've just been out reading, watching box sets, and dreaming of the day when the old Emirates opens up again.
Well, you know what, Chris? You never know. It might not be that long away, because as this comment coming in straight away from this guy here, Arsenal 14 forever, who says, and that is facts, that the Bundesliga is coming back now. The Bundesliga, the Chancellor Merkel has announced that it's going to be back in about a month's time, mid-May. Less than a month's time. In mid-May, the Bundesliga will be coming back. They're going to play it in, behind closed doors in empty stadiums, but they are bringing it back. I know for a fact, because I've been speaking to some people, that they're looking at the Bundesliga very closely here in the UK, and if that goes off well, the Premier League are going to follow, and the Premier League will be back. And they're hoping to be back round about June time. We also got to remember, though, that there are less cases in Germany than there has been over here. We've had way more deaths over here, but they are looking to get football back here in the Premier League, following what happens in the Bundesliga. For you, is that good? Is that a good idea, or are we rushing it?
No, we're not. It's a good idea, Rob. As long if they bring it back, you've got to pray that no one falls ill, or no one ends up in hospital and dies. Can you imagine that? So let's hope it goes okay. Knowing the Germans, they're efficiently, and it'll be done professionally. So fingers crossed, Rob. Football's got to come back sometime. So I suppose we'll see how it gets on with the Bundesliga, and then if it's okay, I suppose it's okay for us to come back.
Behind closed doors, a lot of people are like, I'd rather not even watch it than it being behind closed doors. How do you feel on that?
Well, it's better than nothing, Rob. And unfortunately, I know people saying, football's been greedy. But the bottom line is it's got to come back. A lot of these clubs are going to be in a lot of financial problems. So that's the bottom line. We've got to finish the season. I'm thinking, what are we finishing the season for? So obviously, Liverpool want to win the league. You've got the relegation battle, which we'll get on to. And then people are saying, you've got to get in European places for next season. But I can't see any European football for next season.
You can't see any European football for next season?
Well, think about it. The Europa League and Champions League starts in June and July anyway for qualifiers. And how are these teams going to fly around Europe where there's no airplanes? And a lot of these countries are still going to be under strict social distancing until a vaccine's found or some sort of treatment. So basically, the league's coming back just for Liverpool to win the league. And let's be honest, Rob. If that was us, we wanted to come back. I've seen a lot of people say, Liverpool fans have been narky, but people have been hypocrites. So that was Arsenal. We needed 2 wins to win the league, Rob. We'd want it back.
Yeah, no, definitely.
But on the other side of things, the teams that are fighting relegation, I know they're the ones who are moaning they don't want to play at neutral grounds, because I see Aston Villa have been really moaning about that. But these are not ordinary times, Rob. And I think instead of being selfish, I know it's right for me to sit here and say it's an Arsenal thing because we're not in the relegation battle. But we would have been under Emery, but that's another story. You know what I'm saying? Football. these chairmen of football clubs. If that's the bottom line, the only way the season's going to end behind closed doors, 1, and at neutral grounds, 2, then it's got to go ahead.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, this guy here, Andrew Chow, he says, this is a question for both of us, he said, I can't believe the Bundesliga is given the go-ahead on May the 22nd. Part of me, though, still doubts that we will actually go ahead. And he says, stay safe. But do you think we will definitely go ahead once the Bundesliga gets going, Chris?
Because the government want it. Remember what's the government said? It would be fantastic for the nation of football. It raise the morale, which I find a bit, for the government to say that. I think it'll happen. Yeah, I do.
Yeah, so do I. I think. Listen, I was saying last night, if the medical people and the
number one for
agree that it can come back, then it will. I don't see why it won't come back.
As long as but the medical people say no, then we're all in a bit of trouble. But it's all guesswork, Rob. So we've got to keep our fingers crossed.
Yeah,
everything works okay in Germany. The medical people here say yes, and off we go. But certain clubs have got to say, "Oh, I'm not playing behind closed doors." Well, you're going to have to. Because the bottom line, it's not all about Aston Villa or Brighton. It's about the good of the game.
Yeah, definitely.
Right.
Chris, so just going back on that neutral ground things, how are you about that, playing games on neutral grounds? I mean, one of the grounds they've selected is Arsenal, but how are you about neutral ground things?
It doesn't worry me, Rob, because this is not all an ordinary time. The last time we had a pandemic was 100 years ago. So if you've got to get people got to get out of their comfort zones. If you want this season to finish, then whatever orders you've got to, if you've got a plane behind closed doors, you've got to do it. If it's a neutral ground, you've got to do it. Perhaps, and I can understand Villa say because they've got a lot of home games that give them an advantage. But perhaps if they was to go down and really give them some money to compensate, I don't know. But that's how I am. If that's what's got to be done, it's got to be done. End off.
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you on that. I'm touching on other news that's been around today. Santi Cazorla apparently in an interview saying that he'd love to come back to Arsenal as a coach. He played with Mikel Arteta. Would you be happy with that?
Yeah, wonderful. What a footballer, Rob. Eh? And it's so sad how his career ended at Arsenal. I'd love to see him come back. Possibly he could come in the youth, possibly to the youth system. Imagine him teaching some of the young players we've got coming through. It'd be wonderful. Yeah, lovely.
Yeah. Some nice comments coming in about you, Chris. Jonathan T says he's one of our own. He's one of our own. Hudson. He's one of our own. Well, this other guy here asked this question. He goes, Mr. Hudson, how do you feel about Mikel Arteta as the Arsenal manager? Now, Mikel Arteta, of course, has come out with some really interesting quotes yesterday. There was a quote where he said that basically any Arsenal player that's here, that wants to, well, he was more or less saying if they don't want to be here, then they can go. And if any player hears the word Arsenal when we're out there looking for them and they don't jump at the opportunity to sign, he's like, well, what's wrong with them? So he's trying to instill that in everybody that we are still a major club. We are still a big club and a big force. Do you like what Arteta's done so far, and do you think he's right in saying that?
I'll tell you what, one for the older viewers here, he sounds so much like George Graham. That was George Graham's doctrine when he took over the Arsenal. I remember that. If you don't want to be here, there's the door. And he's got the same sort of discipline. And I thought it was good. I mean, I can't prove this because I think if the season had finished as it should have done, I think you would easily have got us into the top 6 and possibly got us to the cup final. Because you could see things happening. We weren't letting any more stupid goals in. And a bit like George. He was introducing a lot of younger players, a bit like George. You know what I mean? And I wouldn't mess about with Arteta. I don't think he takes no prisoners. So he does remind me of a younger version of George Graham. And I think he's going to be a great manager for the Arsenal, by the way.
That's high praise. That's high praise indeed. And he's going to need to be a great manager because, as you can see already, Chris, it's not looking like there's going to be lots of funds to spend this summer. I mean, I know you already, right? I already know you well enough to know you're a guy that loses it as it is when it comes to transfer time. But I think this summer there ain't going to be a lot of money to spend.
Well, Rob, I'm going to shock you here. I totally understand that there won't be a lot of fun. Football can't in one hand plead in poverty and then the next minute go and spend £40 million on football. That's paying them £200,000 a week. Because it actually is sending out the wrong message. And then just think, you got to think about, I've been furloughed, but how many of the Arsenal 60,000 season ticket holders, how many of them are going to be able to afford a season ticket at the prices they're getting charged now? How many companies are going to renew their boxes and their club level? So actually, for once, I think I would agree with them. I don't think any club should be spending money next season, Rob. How about that? I don't think there should be a transfer window.
Wow, no transfer window.
No, I think until football gets its back on its financial axis, where it was pre-COVID, it shouldn't be happening. And I think it'll be obscene. I don't want to see clubs spending millions on footballers and paying them millions of pounds in wages when the rest of the planet, like the fans all over the world, might have two bobbers rubbed together getting the grand. You know, you've got to show a bit of social conscience. I know perhaps I've been a bit naive there.
Yeah, I was just about to say, so if we get off a party at a cut price, 15 million, and that, you turn it down, yeah? No,
what you do swaps, Rob. I'd offer a male Nenny, I'm sure they take it. No, but the thing is, Arsenal could be well off here because of the youth system. We have got some really good young kids coming through. Everyone knows about the batch we've got playing at the moment. But I think we've got another little lot coming beneath that. And I noticed Arteta did say that the other day. He says, we have got a fantastic youth system and they're producing lots of players. I'm not saying, perhaps I'm being a bit naive, there will be transfers, but not at the level that has been the last. Do you understand? I think football's going to get a bit of a rude awakening, Rob.
So it's been really interesting what you're saying there, because that's kind of going against what a lot of people have been saying recently. For instance, a lot of fans have been saying that they want to see the owner of the club stick his hand in his pocket now and pull out like a 40, 50 million to buy certain players. But you're saying
what I'm saying is, Rob, what he hasn't done it did he do it last summer? Possibly he did, but I'm not too sure that he'll do it. You know, I think a lot of his money is going to go towards keeping the actual club running. You know what I mean? If he's going to put money into the actual Arsenal Football Club, there might be some for transfers, but there might be more money to keep us going as a club, if you see what I mean. If we take a lot of hits, e.g. tickets, club level, it's going to run into millions, Robbie.
Yeah. This guy, Gigi, he says, hi, Chris, a question for Chris. He said, do the board need to now put up or get out, he says.
This is not the time for that. It's not the time for more unstable. If you get times of crisis, the last thing you want is to throw more crisis on top of it. We need, just for possibly till we ride out this storm, till football gets back where it was, I think we're going to all have to calm down and see what happens. I'm not actually shocked Peter explained quality's got to go, but not at the moment. You've got to. Do you understand what I'm trying to go over here? We've got to try and remain calm.
Stabilise things.
Yeah, we got football. Let's get back playing, and let's get back to watching Arsenal. And then once we get back where we were financially, say last summer, then start delving into the market. We've got to show a little bit of responsibility.
Okay. Berserker says, Chris is spot on. How can you ask players to take a pay cut, then start splashing out money on transfers? It won't happen. If we sell players, it will go towards what the club has lost through COVID.
Exactly.
So that's what he's saying. However, though, Chris, you still have to move on, innit? You're still going to need players. You still, I mean, one of the ways to get out of the crisis is to, for instance, get into the Champions League, and to do that, you might need better players.
But the thing is, I said earlier on, Rob, will there be a Champions League next season? You don't know, do you?
That's true.
That's what
I hadn't really thought of it that way. I hadn't really thought of it that way. It's true. How would you get to some of these destinations? Well, you couldn't at the moment, could you?
No, and you don't know what Europe, what the countries say, the main countries around Europe, what it's going to look like in 6 months' time. They might have a small, instead of having they might have a go back to the European Cup years ago. They might just do it as a knockout tournament.
Yeah.
On one off, sort of not home and away. Do you know what I mean? They might have to think like that.
Yeah.
Football's going to have to think a bit outside the box, Rob. Perhaps the season should start in August. Perhaps we should wait till January to start next season. To go January to October. There might be an antidote found, say January, February, so that'll make things easier for more people to come in the crowd.
Yeah,
I saw that.
I saw that. I saw what you said the other day about that. So you're saying start the season when? So you'd say
January.
So what would we do with this season then?
Well, this season, I've got to think about what I'm saying here. I think we got say the government turn around and say it's not safe to play.
Yeah.
And we've got to wait for a vaccine. Then I would sort of start the season we haven't finished. I'll play it around about August, September, October. Stop and then start next season in January when a vaccine. Say they might, please God, they're talking about possibly finding a vaccine that works in next February or March. So that way you only had 2 months of half empty grounds of 0 empty football stadiums.
Yeah.
Finish the season, finish in October and do the Euros in October. You know, football's got to think outside the box, Rob.
Yeah. No, that's a great shout. Site here says, is it worth using the NHS staff and other services personnel to play football at the moment? The government do not want to pay the bill for these people. It's all about money.
But if the government say yes, there's your answer. Yeah. It's not up to football when it comes back. It's not up to the PFA. It's not up to you. It's up to the government and the medical team. So that's answered that question. If the government say yes, then the government are going to have to provide ambulance and NHS staff. Sorry.
Lone Star Londoner says, when is a safe time? When safe to return? Time to build around young players that fight for the badge. Martinelli, Xhaka, Nketiah, Torreira, and Tierney. Would you agree?
I agree with that. Yeah. I mean, Xhaka, what a player, what a revelation he was, Rob. And I'll tell you something, that's a worry for me. I do not want to see him walk out the door because there's a lot. He hasn't signed that contract yet, you know. And all these young players, I think, are got to be put on long term. But at the moment, that's another problem. You know, we're asking Arsenal players to take wage cuts. You know what I mean? And at the moment, I suppose if you're negotiating a contract with a young player, he might. I don't know what sort of. You know what I mean? It's such a delicate balance, isn't it? Really. But the young players, they're the future of the club. I'm telling you. They've got to be kept, Rob.
Yeah, going to an older player, which has been discussed literally. It's almost like it is transfer season, which it ain't, by the way. We still ain't even finished this season yet. But one player has been discussed extensively is Aubameyang, right? So what do you feel about the Aubameyang thing? Do you know, Tony Adams came out the other day and said that they should be keeping Aubameyang at all costs. There are other people who say, well, you know what, maybe cash in on him. What do you
think? Rob, if you cashed in on him, you're not going to get. I think, because going back to my point about the transfer market, I don't think he's going to be going top dollar this summer. So say pre-COVID, I reckon Arsenal would have got about 50 million for him. I'm not too sure because of his age and the limited amount of money possibly in football. How much are you going to get for him? 25, 30? So I'll keep it. So that's what. And if he don't, I'll keep him on the wages he's on. But then I think we're forgetting the thing about, I was my point about no European football next season. The Arsenal players have taken a 12.5% wage cut, haven't they? More power to them. But remember, that was on the proviso that A, we got in the Champions League, or B, we got in the Europa League. And if we're not in either, they've got to take more of a cut. So my point about having no European football next season makes that even more tricky.
Yeah, that's definitely tricky. What if Chelsea came in with a big bid for him?
No, no way would I sell him. You got to be mad, Rob. I couldn't sell him to Chelsea. I don't want to see that.
They come in 50 mil. They come in and they go, here's the 50 mil. Chelsea.
No, I wouldn't sell it. Sorry.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you said that. I'm with you on that as well.
Not in a million years.
People have been having a pop and saying, listen, we got to stop selling our best players to our rivals. That's my opinion.
It sends out the wrong message, and especially not to them, Rob. Yeah, no thanks.
Dr. Viraj says, evening, Robbie. Today's the day that Arsene Wenger bid goodbye to us a couple of years ago. I want you and Chris to tell me what has changed at Arsenal since he retired. Chris.
What a great question. Well, I'll tell you why it's a great question, because I've got to think about it. Because I'll tell you, if you'd ask, I'll tell you what's changed. Well, we've wasted 12 months under Emery. So the answer there is nothing. The only thing that's changed is that since Arteta's taken over, and I've seen a little bit more organisation, discipline in keeping. I do love a clean sheet. But other than that, I know it's saying I don't think a lot's changed. But if you come back and ask me that question in a year's time, I think I'll be able to give a really good answer.
I'd say one change that I'd see would be the transfer business, right? Because the one legacy I think that Arsene Wenger and Gazidis have left is a mess of transfers where we've got players. We have players like Ramsey leave for nothing. All that, and now I think we're paying the price for a lot of that because we've basically seen a lot of players leave, got not much money in, and then these guys now have got no money really to spend. Really, I do think that they're doing transfers in a bit of a better way than what was happening towards the latter end of Arsene Wenger's reign.
But I think that's more down to what's happening the Royal and that the people who possibly in the background.
The system's better. I think, because
I think he was the worst football administrator in the history of Arsenal, Rob.
Gazidis.
Yeah, nightmare. How he got a job at AC Milan. I'd love to have been in his interview. I'd love to know how he sold himself to get that job at AC Milan. I'll tell you something. It's mind-boggling. It was a disaster.
And he's not doing that great there by the looks of it either, is he?
Yeah.
Shrey says, Robbie and Chris, do you think next season European football could be like the Euros, a separate tournament after the leagues are completed?
Well, I've just said that, yeah. I think it could happen. I think that's perhaps UEFA might look at that. As I said, the leagues start later. You've got more chance, please God, of getting a vaccine. Makes it safer. Season ends in October. Play the Euros then. But I don't remember the Euros. This year's Euros are going to be all around all different cities in Europe, weren't they? They weren't just in one nation. So perhaps that's another reason they might look at thinking about UEFA are all unto themselves. And perhaps they might have it in one country. Perhaps they might have it in England. You never know. They're all ideas that you might have to look at, isn't it, Chris? Everything is up for negotiation.
Yeah. This guy Samir says, and this is going back to that Arsene Wenger question. He said the change now is that the problem is the owners and not Wenger.
I don't really understand that. Do you understand that?
So in other words, what he's saying is before the problem with the fans was Arsene Wenger. Now that he's gone, the problem with the fans is the owners.
Yeah, but I understand that. I understand there's a lot of cronky feeling. Or I'll repeat what I said. I mean, it's only my opinion. I can understand people not like staying cronky, but this is not the time. We got to all be one club at the moment. Do you understand? It's not the time for people saying cronky, get your wallet out and all that. It's time. We've all got to stick together and get through this crisis.
Chris, why can't he get his wallet out though?
So I'm not sure I'll tell you what, I'm not sure
he's a billionaire, isn't he? He's a billionaire.
I know he's a billionaire, but I just don't think this is the time he's going to do it, Rob.
Why not? What time? No, look at Chris. You're going for a rough time, yeah? Like, so things are rough. In the good times, you're taking a few million out every year. You know, everything's nice. You're earning. All those years getting in the Champions League, you've been taking. Now times are rough. What's wrong with him? Putting a few, you know, getting it down in his pocket and sinking a few million.
What are we talking about? 100 million, 50? What are we talking about? How much you want him to put in on transfers this summer?
Well, $1 billion would be good. But no, even if he turned around and he said, right, you know what? Here's 30 million to help with transfers and sell a couple and juggle a couple and 30 million.
You know, great, I mean, yeah, but I'm not sure he's going to, Robbie. I'm sorry, I'm not sure.
Well, I'm sure he won't. No, but I'm just, you know,
I don't know. We'll see. I hope he does. I mean, this boy, Atletico Madrid, is exactly what we need in our midfield. He's the nearest thing I've seen to Vieira. I mean, he looks a wonderful player, and we could nick him. Yeah, great. But all these depends what happens I don't know what's going to happen in the transfer market this summer. It's going to be interesting, isn't it? Really, forgetting Arsenal, I want all Man City, Man United, and Chelsea start spending millions. I just don't know. Will Bayern Munich, Real Madrid? I mean, Barcelona are skint. They've got 9 players that they want to swap. They don't want to buy anyone. Do you know what I mean? That's true. So, you know, you just don't know what the market's going to be like.
It is a different time. Yeah. Gents 366 says, people blaming Gazidis. The new people have lied to the fans. They still have let the best player in the team get to the last year of his contract. What do you say to that?
I don't agree with them. I think the two we got doing the transfers at the moment, I think are proven to be doing a job well done. You can't. Gazidis you can't compare him with Gazidis. He was a nightmare. He really was. You know, sorry, mate, but I think you're wrong.
Okay. DLG Rippin says, where do you see Arsenal in the next 5 years? A question for both of you gentlemen. Where do you see Arsenal in the next 5 years, Chris?
I think we're going to win. Perhaps I'm being super optimistic. No, is it? I think under Arteta, as long as we can keep him, we get a bit of luck. I think I'll see Arsenal win. In the 5 years, I will definitely see Arsenal win another title.
Ooh, that is very optimistic. What's that you drinking? I thought it's Coke.
I do. I think, seriously, big time. I'll just see a lot of comparisons. As I said with Jules Graham, and if it goes through the same way, we might nick an FA Cup to start off with. Then I think I can definitely see us winning the title within 5 years. I mean, one title in 5 years ain't that great. Well, perhaps I'm doing him a disservice. I can see it. You know what I mean? Perhaps we will nick an FA Cup or something.
You know what? One title in the next 5 years. If you look at the teams that are coming up now, I mean, I think I like what I see from Arteta, but I still think, and I know what you're saying about this season, it's unusual stuff like that, but he's going to need backing. He's going to need backing because I just look at it and I say to myself, look at the teams that are coming up that are spending. Newcastle, that are about to get Saudi owners. They're going to go big. They're going to go big. Everton are spending, you know, they got Arrow guys. They're spending big money. Then you got all the other teams, the traditional Man Uniteds and Cities and Liverpools, and they got to back him. He's got to be able to get quality in, and also he has to be able to when we do have quality, he has to be able to have the ability to hang on to those players. That's been the big issue. Every time we've got quality over the last 10 years, by the next season, they're gone.
Say we was sitting there next summer, then and you said to me, "Oh, Kroenke's got to put his hand in his pocket," and football was back to where life was normal, Rob. Then I'll be saying, "Yeah, I want to see." Yeah, of course, Kroenke would definitely have to back him, because if he don't, he'll be out the door. Because there'll be a lot of clubs looking at Arteta, Barcelona, etc. Henry Winter. I don't know if you saw it. He wrote an article about Arteta, and saying he's without doubt one of the top 3 most promising coaches in world football. About that.
That's high praise, though, because that's high praise considering he ain't done nothing yet. You know what I mean? That's a bit early, I think, to say that.
I think Henry Winter, he interviewed a lot of people within the game.
Yeah.
Spoke to people, spoke to players at Arsenal. I think that, like Luiz, David, the position. Look, I think look at the job he's done on him. When he come from Chelsea, Rob, he was a clown, wasn't he? He reminded me of Ian Ewer. That's how bad he was. And after I think Arteta got hold of him, I thought, he looks really a good player. And then Luiz has said that. Loads of people say that.
Yeah, Mustafi.
If you don't back him, another great example. Mustafi,
he's improved.
If you don't back him, Rob, he's out the door.
Yeah. So you think that if he doesn't get back, then the big clubs will be hovering to take him as well?
Yeah, 100%. But this player, God, that don't happen.
Yeah, Take Me Back says, we're not winning anything. Sorry, Chris. This is grand theft on a mass scale. So he's not having it.
So it's up to him, isn't it? It's all about opinion, Rob. He thinks he's right. I think I'm right.
Of course, it's all about opinions. Right, this guy here, and we'll touch on this one as well. So he says, Robbie, please, I've always said this. Get rid of Ozil. And let's count our losses and pay Aubameyang. Ozil is a letdown. He's dragging the club and the players down with him. What's your standing on Ozil and this whole thing with the wages? And I haven't had a chance to ask you about that. But where are you on that?
Well, he should never have been given that contract in the first place, Rob. He's not worth 350 grand a week, and I would sell him. But who's going to buy him on that sort of wage? I see there's a lot of rumours about Fenerbahce want to take him back.
Yeah, but even that, they're saying that would be at the end of next season when he's finished.
Yeah, but I don't want to make this all hate Ozil because he's earning X amount. He's not been great, Robbie. Let's be honest. And I just think he should never have been offered a contract. And yes, I would rather spend the 350 grand a week than Aubameyang.
What about where did you stand on this whole thing with him and his withholding the wages, saying that he wants
people have said to me, "Oh, you don't know how much he gives to charity," but that's up to him, isn't it? I think he should have been setting an example, and I think he should have taken a pay cut. His excuse was, "I want to see how things develop," but you've got to be a blind man to see how things are going to develop. It's obvious. He should have taken a pay cut and set an example, Robbie. Sorry.
Okay. No, fair enough. I mean, I didn't get a chance to ask you on that one. Robin says, FFP is the problem. You cannot invest in transfers like you could before. Look what happened to Man City.
Well, the FFP's been UEFA are going to relax that, though, aren't they?
That's what I'm saying. If UEFA relax it, that's what I'm saying with our owner. Come on, they're relaxing it for things like that, so you can get your hand in your pocket and pull some money out.
All depends what the other clubs do, Rob. If all the other clubs start spending like there's no tomorrow, then I suppose they'll have to. But I don't think. I repeat what I said. I don't think this is the time for football. Forgetting Arsenal, just look at football as a game. The whole entity of football. It's not the time for big clubs to be spending money and paying people fortunes when you're going to have a lot of supporters in this country. You'll be struggling possibly to pay the money or get into the ground and watch them.
So for you, it's like a moral thing for you.
Yeah. And I know you're going to say there's no morals in football. I can hear people shouting at me now. But, it's if football's got, sometimes you've got to show a bit of leadership. You understand? The government are saying, it'll be fantastic if football come back, cheer the nation up. But see, in one end, you can't ask footballers to take a wage cut, and then the next minute go out and spend millions. It's hypocritical. You've got to set an example. Perhaps and this virus, people have got to start thinking about what goes on below the Premier League, Rob.
True.
I read the other day, 1,400 players are going to be out of a job on the 30th of June.
Wow.
Perhaps some of that will for the Premier League should go down just for this season, just to help the lower leagues, keep the 92. People stop being, football's got to stop being selfish, Rob. Instead of giving, I don't want to say Ozil, instead of giving player X 350 grand a week, perhaps that money should go towards helping the first and second division clubs survive. They're all going to die, Rob.
Gunnar Tom's there. He is touching on Ozil again. He says, Robbie and Chris, Ozil was given a contract out of desperation. Now he's keeping the club hostage.
Well, what happened there was they didn't want to lose Sanchez. At the time, do you remember there's Sanchez and Ozil? Sanchez they couldn't afford to lose Ozil, so they just threw a stupid contract at him. And even Wenger at the time said, he didn't say it at the time, but he's now said, since he left the club, that he wasn't in agreement with the contract that Ozil was given. Which I found quite interesting. So that was that Mr. Gazidis again.
Newman says, giving Ozil that contract was the worst business in football history. It's cost Arsenal £72 million in wages alone.
So, what can I say? I can't disagree with him. But, you can't ever go Ozil. He's not going to say no, is he?
Exactly. This guy here, Lie of Life, says, Chris is a legend and deserves a statue. Get a statue made up. Get his statue out.
Of chocolate.
Elliot Roberts says, greetings from Toronto. Great show, gents. In order to move on in the transfer market, we have to get rid of the dead weight. So how many players need to go from the club? He said, I'd say 11 players, he's saying. But which players do you think need to go, Chris?
Well,
standouts for you, standout players that you think we need to move on.
Mkhitaryan, but they reckon he's on his way. But Roma want us to pay some of his wages. You're having a laugh. Been rotting. I know Mustafi's improved, but if we can find a buyer, I'll sell him.
Yeah.
Chambers, but he's injured, so that's going to be hard. Holding, possibly. I don't think he's ever been the same player since he got that bad injury. I'm not sure he's going to get a game, Rob. Not with the new boy coming from Saint Etienne, and also we might be sniffing around another centre half. The goalkeeper, the back. I think we need a new backup goalkeeper. I think it's time.
Martin, isn't it?
Sorry, mate, you asked.
Huh?
Yeah, sorry, but he's not for me. Rob. It's all personal opinion.
Yeah.
The thing is, and also it's right moving players on, Rob. Can we get some money? What sort of money we're going to get from? That's the main thing.
El Neni's another one, isn't
he? Yeah, El Neni. That's about it, really. And now, before you ask, not Lacazette. No, I wouldn't be selling Lacazette.
What about there's been people suggesting Bellerin.
No, sorry. I don't agree with that because he needs to. I think he needs a little bit of time to go over that injury he had.
Yeah,
and okay. He's a club man, Bellerin. He loves his Arsenal.
Yeah. What about the other suggestions? Have been Socrates.
Yeah, sorry. I think I'm a big fan of his, though. I've got to tell you. So it all depends what happens in that centre back situation over the summer. But I wouldn't be rushing to get rid of him. But once again, if Arsenal can get a few bob for him, it's all down to how much you can get. If someone offers a good fee for Socrates, then out the door he goes. I wouldn't be letting him go for peanuts.
Yeah, this guy's saying Kolasinac.
I like him, Rob. I wouldn't be sure of getting rid of him, but I suppose we're a bit overstocked in that position. But it's all down to the fee, Rob.
Yeah.
It's not who you want, it's who wants to buy them. And if you can get a fee, it's all down to the money getting offered, mate.
Okay. This guy says, hi, Robin. I missed yesterday's chat. Yes, Arsenal is a big club, but the new generation are fans of Man City, Chelsea, Liverpool. Growing up in Ethiopia, 99% of football fans were here to support Arsenal or Man United. That was the conversation we was having yesterday. Again, based off a lot of what Arteta said. Where do you stand on that, Chris? Are Arsenal still a big club?
Yeah, without that. I mean, I've got a lot of in Nigeria. They're the best supported club in the country. There's thousands of football Arsenal fans all over the world. Arsenal will always be a big club, even if they come in 12th and stinking the place out. You know what I mean? They'll always be a big club. There's certain clubs in this country. It doesn't matter where they are, what they're doing. They are big clubs.
Do we operate like a big club? Do we operate like a big club?
Well, that's another question. The answer to that is no, we haven't been. No, but I've high hopes of the present regime possibly acting like a big club. Yeah.
Okay. Trent says, "Why are Man United linked to Sancho and not us? They are not much better than us. I would understand if it was Liverpool or City, but he's saying why are Man United linked to Sancho and not us?
Because we don't need him, Rob.
I agree with that. We don't need Sancho right now.
I like Reece Nelson. The only thing I thought that's another sadness about last season. Well, because he had that he started playing well, didn't he? He had that injury and he played against Portsmouth. He was just getting back into the swing of things, and then bang! I mean, we don't need him. We got to strengthen the defence and also midfield.
Yeah. George Chapman says, Robbie Bellerin's not the same player since his injury. Plus, his final ball is not good enough.
It's all opinions. I agree he's not been the same player. You can't just come back from that sort of injury like that. But I'm prepared to give him another season. But
how comes you're not giving Holding another season then?
Personal opinion, Robert. In fact, I like Bellerin more. Everyone's got their favourites, mate.
Yeah, I do agree on Bellerin. We've got to give. You're right, because he does know Arsenal through. You know, he's literally academy player, really, isn't he?
Yeah, yeah. I don't want to get. I don't want to see Rob Holding go, but think sometimes he's got to think about what Rob Holding wants. Perhaps he'd be better for his career if he moved on.
Lone Star saying, great discussion. Why aren't we talking about defenders being replaced? Well, we were just talking about that.
Yeah. Well, Mari, we forgot about him. I think he'd be. Hopefully, they'll do a deal there.
You like him?
Yeah, I do. I like Cedric, Rob. I liked him when he was at Southampton. I think he'd be a good addition to the team.
Cedric?
Yeah, from Southampton.
Would you keep him?
Yeah, about that. It's a player I always liked at Southampton.
So then that's like 3 right backs because you've got Maitland-Niles there as well.
Forgot about him because he does not want to play right back. I think Arteta wants to. He could be on the list to go, and I think you could get quite a lot of money for him. Because I mean, it's only what we hear. It doesn't mean it's fact. It's only what we hear. He does not want to play at right back, which is a shame because when he's played there, I think he's looked really good. But he sees himself as a midfield player.
This gentleman here, Prof. Feather says, sell Xhaka. What is Xhaka? He's kind of turned it around, hasn't he? I mean, I think a few months ago, everybody would have said sell Xhaka. Where do you stand on that at the moment?
Another great example of Arteta's man management. A few months ago, I would have paid his bus fare out of the ground. I would have sold him anyway, Rob. But I thought once again, Arteta's turned him around. I wouldn't be selling him to Xhaka.
Okay.
I think, all down to Arteta again there.
Ryan Lopez says, I'm enjoying the show watching from Kumasi in Ghana. So thank you. Yeah. I know people all over the world are watching the show right now, and we're really appreciative of all you. This guy also asked a question. He says, Xhaka or Torreira, who would you let go, Chris?
Neither. I want to let why would I want to let those two go? You don't need to. Thing is, I know Torreira had a disappointing. He had a disappointing season last year, Robbie, didn't he? In the end, I thought he started his first season. I thought he was great, but I don't know. I think once again the injury knocked him back. I think what ruined him was Emery. I think Emery got in his head and played him as an attacking midfield player, which is ridiculous. And in the end, I think that got affected Torreira's form and his confidence. There's no way I'll be letting Torreira go.
Trent Singh says, "Good job, Chris isn't the manager. He loves every player at Arsenal. He goes, he would keep players until they were 50.
I'm too soft. That's why I'd never make a manager, Rob, because I'm too sentimental. I'll be keeping them on. I should have John Radford up front.
Wenger's Gardner says we need Ramsey replacement if Ceballos leaves. That's another.
I forgot about it. What a great point.
You saw this story today about Ramsey.
That's upset me.
He could move to Man United as part of a swap deal with Pogba.
I wouldn't be happy, Rob. That's one of the big mysteries of Emery's reign at Arsenal. Exactly what went on there. Do you understand? I've never had that explained to me properly. He was offered a contract, then he got taken away, but no one's ever told me why. It's weird, and I think we've missed him. I tell you, we definitely missed him. Do you know when games are tight, 1-0, 0-0, he always come up with an important goal, didn't he, Rob?
Yeah, and our midfield don't score no goals.
No, I think that was another example of Emery Gazidis clan.
Zane says, Chris, have you heard we might sign Lingard? Is Arteta on drugs? I've heard this.
Rubbish. Crap.
That's what I think. I don't think that's.
That's a typical Daily Express, Daily Star, BBC gossip filler load of rubbish.
Yeah,
that's what I'll say that one.
Yeah. What was it? There was one I would. There's so many comments, Chris. So many coming up. There's one in particular I was trying to find, and it's just flashed past me, and I can't find it now. Lost it. It was a good one. I'll ask you this one. Let's go old school. Henry or Bergkamp? Henry or Bergkamp?
Well, Bergkamp. If you listen to Henry, he always said that Bergkamp made 70% of his goals. So I'll go for Bergkamp. I'll tell you why. Just only it's by that margin that Bergkamp started the modern Arsenal. Because up to then, we had people like McGoldrick and people like that playing for us. Yeah. And all of a sudden, I'll never forget that day, that Dennis Bergkamp was going to sign for Arsenal. And I'll tell you what, that revolution, like that took Arsenal into a whole new stratosphere.
I thought when Ozil signed, I thought it was going to be a similar thing. Like that was going to be that. That's what's been kind of disappointing that he was going to be the new Bergkamp.
Rob, let's get something straight about Ozil. You know, we're not going to go down the Adrian Durham route, but the way he talks about Ozil, that he's been an absolute nightmare every season, that's rubbish. He has been. If I was going to rate Ozil's career at Arsenal, I'll give him 7 out of 10. It's not rewrite history. He's not been poor. He's
been indifferent, isn't he?
But he's been. I tell you what, he's been like. He's been like Arsenal Football Club for the last X amount of years, like that. Yeah. So it's not. I always everything on Ozil's desk.
Yeah, I always sort of wish that. The one mistake we made with Ozil, I've always thought over the years, is that we've always left him too exposed. There's never been those hardcore DM behind him that just says, "Yo, Ozil, go and play. If you lose the ball, leave it to us. We got it. You just go and work your magic. That's all we want you to do. Work your magic." We never played to Ozil's strengths. That's my opinion.
Well, we can't prove it. I suppose the thing is, wouldn't it have been if you dropped Ozil into the Dennis Bergkamp, Henry? Say you dropped Ozil into the Invincible team, that team Wenger had from '98 to 2006. Perhaps you would have seen the different Ozil.
Mm.
You know.
A couple of people here there's a few people in the comments for the last few days, and this guy Zane says, Chris, do you think we should get Zaha as Palace will need the money?
Nah, we don't need players like that. We've got enough players like that.
We've got Pepe, I don't see why
I don't think he's a sort of an Arteta sort of player, being honest with you, either. Not for me, but
this guy is still not happy with Granit Xhaka. He says the biggest charlatan. And he said he couldn't hold his own piss, let alone the back four. Clown. He's still not happy that Xhaka stayed.
I'll tell you,
but he has made a big turnaround, hasn't he? You know,
with Xhaka, Rob, he's like Marmite. You either love him or hate him. I'm in between. Do you understand? I'm sort of in between, but I just think sometimes you have to admit if someone's improved, you've got to say yes. Like Mustafi, he was public enemy number one, wasn't
he? Yeah.
But under Arteta, I thought his performance at Bournemouth in the cup, he was superb.
Yeah.
Football's not. I think in football you can't have rigid opinions about people because football players change. Some people start off well and end bad. You know what I mean? You've got to be a bit. Variable in your opinions.
You know, if you slate them when they're playing poor, you've got to big them up when they're playing well. You know?
Exactly.
Yeah. Anthony says, Robbie, sell Nketiah, Mkhitaryan and Guendouzi and buy Partey. Then if Aubameyang and Saka don't sign, then sell them and get Ndidi. Attack's still strong and the midfield is deadly for Ozil.
Football's a lot of people think football's like FIFA. They're not in the real world, Rob. First of all, there was no way in a million years I'll be selling Saka. He'd be. I'll tell you what, how much I rate him. He'd be my number one priority even over Aubameyang. There's no way they can afford to let him walk out the door. It sends the wrong message. What is he used to in the youth system, Rob? If you allow the best player the youth system's produced to walk out the door for nothing. For years, he's the best player we produce, and it's actually Cole.
Yeah, that's a great shout. Robin says, Chris, if we sell Aubameyang in the summer, do you use that money for a new striker, or use that money to strengthen? I think it means strengthen the other position and play the strikers we already have.
I'll try and get. I do like I watched him when he played for the Germans, Eintracht Frankfurt. Now Jovic, who plays for Real Madrid.
Jovic.
I'll try and get him in on loan. Yeah, and use the money to strengthen. I think there's going to be a lot of that this summer. There'll be a lot of loan deals.
Yeah. What about that? The kid at Celtic, Osman Edouard.
I watched a lot of Celtic. Rob. I don't know. He is good. But the big question is, will he be able to do it in the Premier League? And that's not a snobbish thing against Scottish football.
Well, we'll take Tierney, aren't we?
Yeah. I love Tierney, as you know. But there's another one. Injuries ruined his career, his Arsenal season last season. It's sad. That's sad as well.
It's interesting, actually, that Arteta's come out today and sort of said, listen, Tierney is part of my plans. I'm looking forward to working with him. He was injured, but I love his attitude. I love everything about him. So
he's a wonderful player, Rob. I watched him at Celtic. I was over the moon when we signed him last summer. But unfortunately, injuries ruined his first season at the Emirates.
Yeah. Carlos says Martinelli's on another level and he's only 19. It shows where our team are, especially when Klopp praises him. You know we have to be careful. He has been another great signing, hasn't he?
He's another one we've got to get on a long-term contract, Rob. Because people will be sniffing around him. And actually, the old Brazilian market, if money, say we haven't got a lot of pound notes to spend this summer, I'm hoping that Edu's got a few other little gems up his sleeve from that part of the world. So you can pick them up for not big fees. That South American market, as well, I like to see Arsenal really get into.
Yeah. Nodgerson says, we need Grealish to replace Ozil and Dembele from Lyon. Very underrated to replace Lacazette if he leaves. And he said, respect from Mauritius.
I like Dembele. I liked him when he was at Celtic. I actually liked him when he was at Fulham, Rob.
Yeah, he's a good player.
Yeah, and we were sniffing around him.
Did you see him when he played? I mean, I know he's only a friendly, but when he played against us in the Emirates Cup, I was really impressed by him. Yeah, strong, good finisher.
Yeah, I love him.
Would be a good, but it'd be a lot of money.
And Grealish, I don't think I think he's going to Man United.
Do you like him, Grealish?
He's all right, Rob. I like him, but I wouldn't be spending fortunes on him.
Okay. DC6 says, how do you rate Nicolas Pepe so far? Rivals call him a flop, but I see him as special potential. There's a question for you both.
I'm a bit hot and cold on him, Rob, but you don't judge a foreign player in one season. You remember, I always think about Robert Pires. It took him a while, so then he went on to become one of the greatest players ever played for Arsenal. I think next season's a big season for Pepe. There's potential there, but let's put it this way: if Arteta was manager last August, I think you would have had a better season. Yeah,
I like Pepe, but I do understand where people are coming from. It has been it hasn't been a great season. He's been starters. What baffled me is that we weren't even playing him. You know, that's what baffled me. I remember there was that game that Emery played him when he scored. You remember that game he came on? It was in Europa League and he scored those 2 free kicks.
Yeah, and the next game he didn't play him.
And then the next game he was dropped. I was like, what's going on? You know what I mean? So he's not really had a chance to get going. I like him. He's so skillful. But sometimes I think he's a guy that you can see he's still learning the league. So he'll beat 5 players, then he'll turn back and try and beat them again. You know,
he needs to bulk up a bit and all, Rob. I think he does get knocked off the ball. But you can't. His ability is wonderful. You can't knock him. He's a wonderful natural footballer. You can't judge him. Yeah,
we've got to judge him next season. I personally have got faith in him to come good. I think that's going to turn out to be a good player.
Well, it's £72 million.
Well, he's got to be good. Yeah, when we spend that sort of money, you better be good. I mean, the thing is about it as well. When I spoke to Adam from Get French News and Football News, right? And he watched Pepe a lot when he was in France. And he was saying to me, Robbie, he's actually better a bit more central as well. He goes, if you play him a bit more centrally, he goes, he's devastating. So are we wasting him out wide? That's the other thing. I don't really, but I think I like him. I do like him. I think we've got to, like you said, it's the first season.
Yeah.
We got to keep faith in him.
Henry, Pires, they all took a season to settle, Rob.
Yeah. You're right there. You're so right. People have more patience then. Samuel says, Robbie, I feel we should sell Xhaka, Lacazette, Luiz, Socrates, and Kolasinac by young players who are able to build up a great relationship together. Well, the thing I'd say to that is you always need experience and youth.
Yeah. I wouldn't be selling Luiz. I know I quite like him. I think he's apparently he's good around the dressing room. He's good with the young players. And I think Arteta really likes him. And I think he's really bought into the Arsenal kudos. I think he really loves playing for the Arsenal. That's not why I'm going to keep him, because he loves playing for Arsenal. But I wouldn't be selling. It's all opinions, Rob. Everyone. Some people like Xhaka, some people hate him, some people like. You understand? It's all about opinions, but the only opinion that matters is the manager. And if Arteta loves Luiz, so.
Money Green 557 said, Chris, would you get Jota from Wolves?
I would, but why would Wolves sell him? Of course I would. But Wolves, you talk about clubs on the up, and there is a club on the up. They got some fantastic. There's no way they would sell it. Cool. I like the boy out front, the number 9.
Jimenez.
I forget his name. Every club in the world would want to forward like that.
Yeah, he's a good player. Very good.
Wolves ain't going to sell him at Arsenal, though.
True. Omar says, where do you think we'll finish next season, Chris?
Well, as we're still in this season, so hypothetically this season does get played, I think we'll definitely get 6th or 7th this season. Then when next season starts, it all depends who we've got, who we haven't got, what the football landscape looks like. But I think I can see Arteta getting us back in the top 4. That's my answer.
Well, listen, if he achieves that next season, I know
I think he will
win the league and that, but realistically, if he could achieve that next season, that would be mission accomplished.
Yeah.
For me,
much as
it's going to take him a few seasons, isn't it?
Let's be honest, much as I criticise Emery, I mean, he nearly got us in the top 4, but because he lost the plot against Crystal Palace at home. Anyway, we won't go there.
Right, no. Do you know what? I was literally today, because I was looking at this the time of year, and I was thinking, this time last season, that's it. When we started chucking everything away.
Oh no, the Crystal Palace home game. I think that's the day when I decided that Emery was not up for the job. Do you remember he brought Jenkinson in?
Yeah,
right back.
Yes.
You remember that? He brought Mustafi back from the wilderness. All we needed that day, Robbie, was to win that game, and he did that.
I remember I was going to the game, Chris, and you know, like before the games, we do little things where we do the team selection, and I just got my phone out, and I was just about to get the team up, and some guy goes to me, "What the fuck is this guy doing?" He goes, "He's got Jenkinson and Mustafi." Yeah, I genuinely turned around to the guy and I said, "Nah, stop chatting shit." And then he showed me his phone, and I was like, "What?" And I said, "Does he not know that Palace are a good counter-attacking team? Zaha's going to tear these guys up." I couldn't believe it. I mean, he cost us that day. He did. I doubt to this day, I'd like someone to tell me the reason why he made those changes.
I think he thought he better. I think he was some sort of master tactician, which he wasn't, Rob.
Oh, it was a disaster.
I think that was the day he lost the dressing room, by the way.
Yeah. Andrew, we're going to do a couple more because time's running out on us. But Andrew Chow says, breaking news, the German Bundesliga is to start on May the 15th. That is officially said by the German FA, apparently.
Good. Once again, let's hope it goes off with no situations with the COVID. No one gets infected. No one is tested positive. Please God, no one dies. It could happen. You just got to pray it all goes off nicely, and then the Premier League can start. It doesn't bear thinking about, Rob, if that all goes wrong. I'm telling you.
And let's do this one as the final one. This is Pabalo. He says, "Hey, Robbie and Chris, seeing that we'll only be able to do swap deals, loan deals, and free transfers, who would you get? Anybody you've seen out there, Chris, that you think?"
Swap loans. All depends who's available. Depends who's offering what, Rob. You know what I mean?
What about Willian?
Who?
Willian.
Nah, I don't want to have it. Nah, not for we. Nah, sorry. Sorry, mate. We'll leave it at that, Rob. Not for me, mate.
Chelsea reject again that we go and pick up. Free transfer. I mean, there will be a lot of free transfer. I mean, there's people been talking about Ryan Fraser. But again, we don't need a lot of wingers.
If someone could find me a good midfield player on a free transfer and possibly another utility back 4 player, I'll be looking at that. And a goalkeeper as backup to Leno.
Okay, well, Chris, I've got to say, man, it's been brilliant having you on.
Cheers, I loved it.
The comments it's been blowing up. It's been through the roof tonight.
We'll do it again, Rob.
Sending comments, it's been fantastic. It's been great to have you on, Chris. I'd love to get you back on.
Right.
And hopefully, like you said, we can get some football back on soon. That'd be if, of course, it's safe to do so. That is the main thing. It's safe to do so.
I'll just say, Rob, the most important people in the planet at the moment are not footballers. They're the scientists trying to look for a vaccine.
Yeah, that's definitely true. That's where the money needs to go, for real. Yeah. But Chris, thank you very much, man. I really appreciate you coming. And really appreciate you guys watching tonight. It's been a great, great show. We'll be back in the morning with the early edition. So we look forward to that. But Chris, thank you very much. And
All right, mate.
we'll see you all in the morning.